Order! 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 It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? It was fucking stolen from him, duh! This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the red-headed league in his diary that day. Which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson, with whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanations. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Lord gracious! Very tantalizing, Miss Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you have apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi? An imposter. Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck. So the question immediately poses next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See! See! That's right! We tell the same story every time! Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar! Mon Dieu, Peppino! I was not so large as you say, So who was the false inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man, about the man these two imprisoned that night. Oh my god, I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post haste. Who did the witness encounter in the park? Gossip! You mess of a man, I knew those lips couldn't be real. Goodness me, isn't that... One of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today. A nameless man, whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passerby. What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. No, you dumb fucks! It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noticed something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. Eh? God. The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Oh my god. Order! Order! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom and rip his lip off. They aren't real! Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness besides him. What's going on here, eh? I've always had this. Me, it's a birthmark, isn't it? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you? Hey, something about an inspector again. But I've been telling you, you've got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it. Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. Rousseau and Mr. DeRossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We are in a big trouble, eh, Capo? That's quite enough dilatory, whatever chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Oh, the fucking curls in his hair. Bitch. He didn't even change his hairstyle. Bitch. Stupid dumb as hell. Fuck. Oh, how did I not notice that? Oh, God. Oh, his hair color is different, though. But it's the same stupid dumbass curls, bitch. Oh, fucking stupid. Stupid. The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. Is right, see? You think we would forget that those grand lips are? I never leave Fresno Street, alright? I have no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world, me. I have no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Doesn't look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like that. Oh my god, why would you just straight up say disguise, you stupid bitch? It would certainly appear if we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you all? There was no need for this pointless testimony. Ugh. That's right, I'm just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street's all I know. How would I have come by? Come by police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... a brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Ugh, isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? Me! I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Miss Naruhodo. Okay. All right. This man was not So you say, but how could you be quite so certain? There's no need to hurt your hands on the desk, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, no? Because I have never seen before seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. And it looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prized collar. Mon Dieu, with your words, it is like you are trying to wring my neck. It doesn't look very much like my neck, though, they. No, this is the birthmark, lads. The biggest lips in London are in the neck, and the neck's die for. Hey, they broke the mold when they made me. For the first time in my life, I feel lucky to have been born with the red hair. And I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. So you maintain that you've never seen this man before. Oui, c'est va, whatever, I swear to it by the flames of my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it? I don't know how I'm supposed to show this. Is right, you think we would forget those grand lips? How do I even... I wish I could just go and rip his lips off. Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either. That is what I am saying. For some reason, it makes me want to eat... How did Fabian call it? An eclair. Ooh. You know, I've never seen the red hair as black as yours before either. Oh, yes, us. I thought you were talking about gossip. Likewise, I've never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain. See, maybe it's a nationality trait, eh? Maybe all of the people come from a disman's country, have grand lips. No, lad, I was born right here on Fresno Street, and I've never left. Oof, That is a problem, see. So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip? Now, how many times do you want me to say it, eh? I've never leave Frieza Street. I'm not interested in the Red-Headed League. Okay. So, you'd heard of the Red-Headed League, had you? You don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? It's my business to know what's going off in town. I sold that tasty tidbit to a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I even got a sandwich to cough up for it. Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts. Who knows? But as you can see, my own hair's now got a hint of red in it. And in any case, Fresno Street's my patch. You won't catch me sidling off to some other part of town. No, sir, not likely. Oh. Oh. Chotto. Mr. Deversol. Oui, can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park. A small house or something. To be the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes. I visited the housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? You said you've never seen this man's lips before. You liar? Mr. Gossip, with a housing agent? Oui. He had some kind of contract in his and in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chum. I've never left Fresno Street. Me, like I said before. You're mistaking me for someone else. Someone with the same face. No, the capo is right. I remember it too. He was paying the man with the banknotes. With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me. So he was paying to lease the place, the home on Fresno Street. It just happened to be on that day. I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name of the papers. What name was written on it? Mr. Gossip? No, Hugh Boone's, bitch! No. There's a man. He lies. He tells you that he has a name. But in fact, his name is a Hugh Boone, huh? Is it better than Mr. Gossip, I think? See. How did you see the name? No! How did you see the names on the contract? Oh my god. I'm a peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street. And that's that. I don't much like folks talking about my personal life. Indeed. It's not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well. I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections. We have an objection. I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Lord gracious, do you similarly object, Prosecutor Asogi? As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Well, I never! How did I forget? Hugh Boone, the name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. Oh, Vigil. I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Oh my god. Well, alright. I suppose that might be the case, eh? How are you gonna possibly worm your way out of this one? What could you possibly say? I found money! So your real name is Hugh Boone? No, you bitch! You sure? Well, just between us, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a fallen down backstreet townhouse. You know. Once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time. Oh, it's in a home. Oh, they were indoors. That's how they saw it. Okay. And he's been leasing this place for a while. It's just that on that day he happened to pay the 6 months in advance or something? 6 months rent? or whatever it was he said. Hey, if either of us is a vulgar, it's not me. Sing again, Peppino. Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. Damn, they're really dragging this out. We'll update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. You know what? The dirt on this face is clearly drawn onto. It ain't even real dirt, dog. If I must. So the leaseholder's garden yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along. I rent a room where that fellow was found, it's true, but for what difference it makes. So, you live in that room presumably, do you? No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed in there. It's just a desk. Then, why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have to say, really. Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to. No, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's only the other bits and bobs that belong to me. The desk and the chair and that. Did you forget the picture that's on that desk? God, let me put the two together, come on. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room? Well, obviously, I'm not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest. I think that supposed to say it's. It seems to me that Mr. Gossip, sorry, Mr. Boone, would rather as little is known about his room as possible for some reason. Yes, it does come across that way. And more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. That's how I'm finally going to undo this man. Yes! Please! Let's talk about... I'm all alone in the world, me, I have no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Oops! I didn't mean to press it, but it's okay, I'll press it. You mean you have no family? No! None at all! So I spent my days on Fresno Street peddling tidbits to passerbys. Hoping, just between us this is, that eventually someone else with lips like mine will come along. I don't think so. You may be right. Anyway, that mark on your neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore. Well, what's a fellow to do then, eh? If you don't believe me, we're at an impasse. And there's nothing I can do but flick my lip. Ew, God. Looks like I'm not going to get anywhere here, unless I can produce some proof. You're basically saying I got dressed up and posed as some fancy inspector, are you? Well, beyond me, how you think I could do that? Oh my god, sorry. Present. Can I just present this? Yes! Okay, finally. If you have no kinfolk as you put it, then explain why is it that among the sparse furnishing, we found this photograph in the room. Oh! I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Well... Mr. Boone, drop the pretense, and tell the court exactly who you really are. I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone. As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson. How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features. But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, counsel. What do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lips is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lips is itself part of an elaborate disguise. then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make it an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone? Call him by his real name. Ah! Witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't take into consideration that they wouldn't know about this, right? Because this was brought up to Sholmes, so they didn't even know about Vigil being missing. If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No, please, no. Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name of Gossip on the streets? Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. Yeah! I don't recall that name, counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. That's why he was... Oh! So he wasn't home because he was being held captive. Oh! Wow. Mrs. Vigil knew that something had happened to him. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed League men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we'd been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. No, you just hold on a minute. I know the first idea. What am I talking about? Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a washbowl at once. Really? I would just pull the lips off. Mr. DeRousseau, Mr. Rosie, you will restrain the witness. You can't. You're asking the witnesses to restrain the witness. Ah, oui, my lord. Seymour. That's funny. They would make them do it. Ah! No!